freedom's cost. Thank you to my family and friends who serve today, standing strong and brave in harm's way. Your sacrifice and courage shine so bright, protecting our freedom through every night. Thank you to those who once wore the name, whose honor and service still burn like a flame. Though your time has passed, your legacy remains, etched forever through victories and pains. Thank you to the heroes who gave their lives, so future generations could continue to thrive. Because of your sacrifice, we stand here free, living in safety, because of your bravery. To the fallen heroes, you are not forgotten. Your memory lives on, forever honored. Your courage echoes across this land, in every freedom we hold in our hands. To those still serving, know you are appreciated. Your dedication and strength are deeply celebrated. Because of you, we can live without fear and hold our loved ones forever near. For every sacrifice made, both big and small, we thank you, honor you, and remember you all.
All right, welcome everyone to Metal Monday. We are doing our Memorial Day special today, honoring those who have made the ultimate sacrifice to our troops. And today's going to be a special day. All of the music we have tonight will be Memorial Day related, whether it's about supporting a fallen loved one who served, or whether it's supporting our troops, or whether it's simply a patriotic thing, because at least the majority of us that served our country, we still are proud of our country. We don't have to be happy with everything it does, but I'm still proud to be an American no matter what. Before we start, I did want to take a moment to thank all our viewers who are here joining with us today. I know Memorial Day can be a touchy subject for some. It is a touchy subject for me. I do get very emotional on days like this, having served in the Navy myself and having family members that have served as well. And we also have others that have served as well with us live tonight. We got Mr. Larry Forge, who is also a Navy veteran. And for those out there who are watching that have served, thank you for your service. And for those who have had family members to make the ultimate sacrifice, may they rest in peace and may their memories live on, whether it's through our memories, whether it's through our music or other means, And with that said, I want to start out this stream and do a quick moment of silence. And it will be a full 60 seconds long. So just forewarning you right now, but it's something I wanted to do. So we can take a little thought to ourselves, whether it's in prayer or however you want to manage it. But with that said, we will begin our moment of silence starting now. All right, thank you, everyone. And I want to give a shout out to Miss Rebecca Mills, who's with us tonight, who did the wonderful intro for tonight's special Memorial Day. So, Rebecca, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And for those of y'all who tuned in with us, welcome to Swain Family Records Metal Monday. Again, we are doing a Memorial Day special today. We have a few great songs lined up with some amazing artists who always know how to bring it. And we have a new face with us tonight with Omega. And we're going to go ahead and start doing introductions. And as you can see, some of us, we take Memorial Day, right to the heart, and it's totally understandable. With that said, we'll let our new face introduce himself first tonight. So, Omega, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, if you've had anybody that served, and where we can find your content.
Sorry, I was laying down. I had back surgery back in October. Um, my father served in the Air Force during Vietnam. He served from August of 19, or excuse me, February of 63 until August of 83. And he served during the Vietnam War. He was a security police officer during Vietnam and later became tail gunner for his B-52s. And that's really my late wife's father also was Army. He used to be on the the C-30s, and used to be one of the few people who were actually um, commissioned to carry the Agent Orange from place to place. And that's about all about me. I mean, I'm married to Miss Rebecca over here, and friends with Larry, of course.
All right, thank you, Omega. It's nice to see you here with us today, and welcome to Swain Family Records Metal Monday. Hopefully we can see you more in the future.
I'm hoping so, because I mean, most of my music, as you've been able to figure out from the first time you heard my music, it's dark Celtic metal with a little bit of EDM and dubstep mixed in.
Awesome, you'll fit right in well. So welcome to the family, dude. All right, Mr. Larry Forge. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself? You know, your service since you're a Navy veteran. If you have any family that served, and where we can find your content.
Well, as far as service directive, I was the first member of my family to serve, but I was always raised around a lot of veterans, worked with veterans groups, stuff like that, Meals on Wheels. Um, and I'm also a member of the American Legion. And but at around my 20, yeah, I was about 20 years old. A very close friend of mine, his father was retired Army, and he was on his deathbed. And he always wanted his son to join service and follow his footsteps, but his son couldn't because of a heart condition. I stepped up, put him on his deathbed. That's when I joined. During my service, I went all over the place. A lot of places I didn't even know where I was at. I wasn't given the briefing factors of where I was going or how I was going. Really, it was okay. If we give you a call, you got 24-hour notice. Get on a plane. You're going somewhere. You're doing a job and you're coming back. That's all I really got. I can't really talk about a lot of it. It's just how it goes sometimes. But I liked my time in service. I was planning on being a lifer, but I got injured, got a medical discharge, and had to go on from there. But I will always hold that very close to me. As far as finding my music, I release music under Forge, Larry D. Noe Jr., the Noe Boys. You can find me on all streaming platforms. Got a YouTube page, the Noe Boys. Real easy to find us.
All right, Larry, thank you for sharing your story with us. We really appreciate it, and thank you for your service as well. And our hearts are with you, my man. You know, you're always one of the guys that's always hanging around with us, and we're all glad you're still here today. All right, Mr. Clayton, uh, tell us a little bit about yourself, if you know anybody that served, and where we can find your content.
Yeah, my name is Clayton Barnes, and I've had several members of my family that served. My father, stationed in Germany, had some uncles that were also in the military, and then a nephew who just recently got out. He was a warrant officer flying Apache helicopters, and he just recently retired and is now home with his wife. So, I know they're happy to have him home. As far as my music goes, I'm on most of the major streaming platforms, and have a couple albums out now. Hoping to start getting some more out here soon.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing with us, and thank you for being here tonight. All right, Miss Rebecca, your turn. Go on and tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, if you know anybody that served as well, and where we can find your content.
I come from a military family. My grandfather served in the Air Force. He fought in Vietnam. He actually earned a call sign because he delivered medical supplies and did the medical side of it. His wife, my grandmother, was a military nurse during times of war, and that's how they met. My uncle, I actually went to his Air Force graduation when I was 5 years old. So that was an interesting experience. Like I said, my mom had three younger brothers. Two of those three brothers followed in the military family footsteps. Larry's my friend who also was in the military. Several of my students that I teach currently are about to start their military careers from their JROTC program that they've been in. So I've been an active supporter pretty much my entire life. And, I hate when things happen. As for my music, you can find me on all streaming platforms. I've released a country album, working on my second country album, and I'm also working on a metal album under the name Scarlet. As you see, that's my avatar I created for my metal album. And that's just a little bit about me in a nutshell.
Thank you for sharing. And, again, welcome to the family. We're glad to have you here. And again, thanks for that wonderful intro video. And as for me, I served in the Navy from 2005 to 2013. I did 8 years. Waited a month after I got my high school diploma. I did Air Force Junior ROTC at my high school all 4 years. I originally wanted to join the Air Force. I've been talking to recruiters, my junior, senior year, and I, knew the anthem. I knew their pledge. I knew everything. And when it came time to start doing all the paperwork, the recruiters were too busy, or they were never in their office. I had a hard time getting hold of them. And then I went and left one of the Air Force offices, and a Navy recruiter just happened to be out front. And he was like, come on in my office and let's see what we can do. And next thing you know, I wound up signing up for the Navy. So my family's pretty much been, pretty majorly involved in military. My grandfather, or my great grandfather, was Navy. My grandfather was Army. My father was Army. My grandfather served in Vietnam, but unfortunately he didn't make it back alive, and we didn't get his remains until the mid 80s. And when we finally were able to do a proper funeral for him in Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, I was 2 years old. My parents showed me the VHS tape of his burial ceremony and everything. I was a little toddler in my mom's lap, not exactly, being quiet, but, I was a toddler. I couldn't help it. It's unfortunate I never got to meet him. My dad was a Bradley mechanic in the Army. and that he wound up injuring his back, and he wound up getting medically discharged as well. Um, During my time that I served, I lost many really good friends and shipmates of mine. So my song tonight is definitely dedicated to them. It's going to be hard on me, so don't be surprised if you see me be pretty broken later on in the stream. And that pretty much sums it up. And my hometown is San Antonio. It's Military City. I absolutely love it. Uh, I'm definitely going back next month to spend a month down there, hang out, have some fun, reconnect with family, go visit my grandfather who's buried at Fort Sam, and I make it a habit of visiting him every time I go down there. I'll spend some time. I'll bring a chair out. I'll, have a conversation with him as if he's standing right in front of me. Bring him a drink as well. Talk about my day. Talk about what happened in the last year. Since last time I seen him, and just act like we're kind of having a check. 'Cause as I said, I never got to meet him, and it's one of those little traditions. And as far as my content, I'm mainly on YouTube. I'm in most music stores, soon to be Apple, but currently on Spotify, Deezer, many others. And I'm also on Facebook, but most of my stuff mainly does go to YouTube first before I post it most everywhere else. And since he just joined us, Mr. Butcher, why don't you go next? Tell the audience a little bit about yourself, if you know anybody that have served, and where we can find your content.
All right, thanks. Sorry for chiming in late again, guys. I guess I made it just in time. I'm Josh. I go by Renegade Butcher. You can find me at Renegade Butcher. I have stuff as Andrea Kane. I'm on all the streaming platforms. I'm on all the social media. You can find me pretty much everywhere. As far as I never personally served. I have a lot of family that did, though. My grandfather, he was Army. My uncle was Army. They were very formative people in my younger life. My grandfather taught me a lot, gardening, just a ton of things, and big force growing up. So I learned a lot from him. Heard stories of his time. He never had to serve actively in any war, but after he retired from the Army, he actually worked for roads and grounds at the Rock Island Arsenal for all the way up until he retired from that. So he's around it my whole life. Myself, I did a lot of studies in military history, did a lot of combat training, never served, but a big part of who I am, you'll hear it in my music, kind of just ingrained in my soul. Huge respect for all our veterans, huge respect for the journeys that they go through, the struggles that they go through. And, I'm just hoping that some of the things that I share help some guys out.
All right, sounds good. And thank you for joining us and sharing that with us. And what's up?
I forgot to say that Larry just released my first 2 songs last Friday, and those can be found on YouTube, Spotify, and I believe Apple Music.
Got to rub it in with that Apple Music.
Yeah, I do.
If I'm releasing it, it's going there.
See, Larry's like, Apple's going to take my stuff, whether you like it or not. Got to establish that fruit company dominance there.
It works every time.
Handle the storm.
It works every time.
Maybe I got to send Thaldrak to Apple headquarters. Maybe he might intimidate him into taking my stuff. Yeah, all right. And with that said, I didn't pick a particular order for everybody's music tonight, with the exception of mine, because, every time I had to listen to mine to do edits and whatnot, it really bothered me. So I'm preferring to put my song for last. But with that said, we're going to start with Larry's song. So, Larry, if you want to tell the listeners a little bit about your song, and we'll get right to playing it.
My song is actually written based off a very old poem called The Soldier. It's about the aspects of when there was riots and things of that nature, and they were bringing a flag up onto a stage to burn it, calling it a dirty rag and things of that nature. One lone soldier stepped through the crowd and confronted everyone. And they decided, based off of what he told them, that they were not going to continue, and they all backed down. He reminded them what it stands for. That's what the song's quite literally based around.
Alrighty. And your song was before the flag burns, right?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. All right, and we'll go on ahead and play the first song, Before the Flag Burns, by Mr. Forge here.
Courthouse long, crowd packed tight, folded flag in the hands of a boy looking for a fight. They came with the signs, they came with their rage. 1,500 strong pressed around that stage. The gas can was waiting, the lighter was too. Young mouth running reckless, like the cost never came due. Folded flag in his hands, caught it nothing but a rag. Like it never covered coffins, like it never led the brave. Then the crowd split slow when an old man came through. His uniform pulled tight and his march held true. Button shining bright like his oath was not done. Limp in his walk, but he still walked on. Old rusted gun on his shoulder, pointed up at the sky. Not there to start trouble, but he would face what came. He stepped onto the stage with the whole crowd against him. One tired soldier standing for those who could not stand. He said, son, you can speak, cause better men bled. You can stand on this ground because they stood instead. You can curse what they carried, you can throw your voice high, but do not call it nothing when men carried it and died. Before this flag burns, you will know what it cost. Every stripe has a name, every star marks a loss. One old soldier against the whole crowd, standing for the fallen when the living got loud. He did not move, he did not bow. He held that line and he held it proud. Before this flag burns, you will remember them all. He said, I know your rights, I know why you stand. I watch good men buy them with blood on their hands. Freedom is heavy when you bear the weight, when you lace up the boots, when you shoulder the gun. My father crossed water to a war full of graves, believing one sacrifice might end those days. But war does not ask if the children are grown, it just finds the next names and it carves them in stone. My brother was young, still had life in his face, but he fell on the beach trying to climb toward grace. And 5 men raised a flag where the whole world could see, not for politics, but for those who could not leave this leg. I still drag, came from the same old fight, same flag in the smoke, same prayer in the night. So before you light fire to what they held above, look me dead in the eye and say you would do the same. We said, which one of you would step past the noise? Which one has the courage behind that voice? Which one would stand when the cause comes due? Which one would die for what they claim is true? Before this flag burns, you will know what it cost. Every stripe has a name, every star marks a loss. One old soldier against the whole crowd, standing for the fallen when the living got loud. He did not move, he did not bow. He held that line and he held it proud. Before this flag burns, you will remember them all. He did not come with hate, he did not come with pride. He came to hold the line because the fallen one stood. This was for brothers lost in the smoke and the sand. This was one old soldier refusing to stand down. He came to carry weight that the loud will never see, to stand for the ones who kept others free. The crowd had numbers, he held a line, they had the fire. He knew the price they came to burn. against the whole crowd, standing for the fallen when the living got loud. He did not move, he did not bow. He held that line and he held it proud. Before this flag burns, you will remember them all. Before this flag burns, hear the silence speak. For every empty chair, for every folded flag, for every last salute, for every final call, for every note it taps. Before this flag burns, you will remember them all. The fire never touched the flag that day. The crowd decided to step away. And the boy, who called it nothing but a rag, handed the old soldier the folded flag. Sometimes the strongest stand comes from the ones the world is already counted out. These colors may fade, but these colors do not run. And a true oath is never done. I know mine is not done. To all who have fallen, I'll stand for you until my days are through. Say less, do more. That's proof by the code of force.
Well done, well done. Definitely a very emotional song there. As a fellow veteran, whenever I see people burning flags on the streets, it really irks me deep down inside. Knowing that people like me, that people that our family, have went and served our countries. And I know some people like to say it's freedom of speech and all that stuff, but seeing that shit pisses me off, dude. We see it as much more than a flag. It's a part of us, and when they go out doing that, it's like a slap in the face. That's the easy way to put it.
That is the slightest way to put it, a slap to the face. It's just blatant disrespect.
Which, I mean, that's why they do it. They do it to be disrespectful, and they're not thinking about the fact that people have put their lives on the line and died for that flag. And you know what? You don't have to agree with everything the country does. I certainly don't. But you can respect the people who stood up and gave their lives, whether they're here or not, so that you get a chance to stand there and talk shit about what they did.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, it says more about them than it does about those who served.
And that's exactly what that song's about. Yeah, you can burn it. You got your rights, but you're going to know what it stands for before you do.
Exactly.
Not to mention the people that gave them that right in the first place,
Exactly. And when I was growing up, my father insisted that I join the Boy Scouts so I could learn proper respect for the flag. And even when it came down to having a flag at the house, he taught me proper respect for the flag there. So I've always had good respect for their flag, and the only time that you ever burn a flag is when it is retired.
That's actually part of U.S. code too, mind you, for those that may not know. There is a special ritual of sorts when it comes to retiring a flag. So what he said there is perfectly true. It's a part of U.S. code, and you definitely got to show respect to it. Wow, already a strong start.
Too many people have put their life on the line. Too many people have lost their lives defending the flag. And in my opinion, there is a reason why the first color on our flag is red.
Exactly. Well, with that said, why don't we do your song next? So, Omega, why don't you tell us a little bit about your song?
I'm sure everybody has heard the words some gave all gave some. And as it pertains to the military remembrance culture and the fact that it was attributed to the Korean War veteran Howard Osterkamp as being the first person who actually brought it to the public's attention. And that's basically what my song is about, is how military personnel serving, some are giving all that they can, and others are giving the ultimate sacrifice of their lives to defend the flag and everything that it means, and the sacrifices of not just the people who are serving, but also the sacrifices of the families that either A, get left behind because that person gave all, and the sacrifices of mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, wives of the military who are deployed overseas, and the trials and tribulations that they have to go through. My father served 2 years in Thailand during the Vietnam War, and during that time, I literally was only like maybe 6 months to 2 years old is how long he was gone. And there are memories that I have of trying to go see my father, not realizing that he was thousands of miles away. And I understand very acutely how much military people, not just the service members, but also their families, have to sacrifice to defend that flag. And now I'm about to cry.
Hey, this is going to be a very emotional day for everyone. You know, if you have even a little bit of connection with the military or know somebody, that has made the ultimate sacrifice, and we're all here for each other. We're one big family.
Well, it's kind of acutely very, very, the some gave all. My father did not die during his service, but we lost him back in 2022 in October. And days like this remind me how much I miss him.
Well, with that said, we're going to play Omega's song next. All gave some.
All gave some gave all. And every name behind those words was loved by someone. There's a uniform hanging in a hallway light, a picture on the wall from a younger time, a family that learned how to pray through fear. Every time the news came on too clear, there's a child who grew up with a folded flag, a mother still holding what she cannot have back, a wife who kept standing when her whole world fell, with stories only silence knows how to tell. They did not serve for glory, they did not stand for fame, they carried something bigger than the letters in their name. All gave some gave all. Some came home standing, some names are carved in stone. All gave some gave all. For every breath of freedom that we call our own, for the right to live, for the right to speak, for the dreams we chase and the peace we keep. We raise our hearts when the colors fall. All gave some gave all. The Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the Coast Guard watching over restless seas, the Guardians standing where the sky runs deep, all answered when the oath was theirs to keep. They left behind birthdays, empty chairs, first steps, last words, and unanswered prayers, while family served in a different way, counting down nights and carrying days. Behind every soldier, behind every call, there's a home that paid a price when freedom asked for all. When the pipes begin to cry and the flag is folded slow, words fall short beneath the weight of the debt that we still owe. Freedom is not just a word we say, it is carried by the brave. It is paid for in the miles from home and the silence at a grave. So thank you to the living and honor to the gone. Your service built the ground that we keep standing on. All gave some gave all. Some came home wounded, some never came home. All gave some gave all for the American freedom we have always known. For the right to live, for the right to speak, for the ones we love and the peace we keep. We raise our hearts when the colors fall. All gave some gave all. To every branch, to every family, to every name, we remember. All gave some gave all.
Very well done.
Very well done.
Very well done. Definitely very emotional. I love that darker, grittier, kind of an eerie voice going on there, almost ethereal in a way, so to speak. And the dubstep and the bagpipes worked really well with each other too. And those are some very strong lyrics, man. So well done.
Yeah, it took me a week to put that together just because I wanted it so perfect, and I
All right.
wanted
Any other comments on it before we move on to the next one?
I like the instrumentation a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing what else you're bringing to the group too. That was a very well done song, and the lyrics were
Butcher, I
amazing.
think you're still muted, or I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can
Right.
hear you now.
Okay. Anyway, I said the lyrics were great on that. I love the instrumentation, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else you bring to the group. I can definitely vibe with the bagpipes and the dubstep and that crossover. Anyway, I said the lyrics were great on that. I love the instrumentation, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else you bring to the group. I can definitely vibe with the bagpipes and the dubstep and that crossover. Anyway, I said the lyrics were great.
I've got one that I'm doing tomorrow.
Okay, I guess there is some
Getting some feedback.
internet issues. Might have been on my end because I couldn't hear it for some reason on my main laptop screen, but I have YouTube open on my phone and I was able to hear it through there. So sorry about the little delay there, folks.
No problem. So tomorrow I'm doing one. I lost my wife back in 2015 to polycystic kidney disease, and
All right, got
that's
him back in here
also
now.
very an emotional
Welcome
one
back.
that I did for.
All right,
May
with
Day.
that said, we'll move on to the next song for the night.
You might have a lag, Storm.
Yeah.
Booted out and came back, but I think there's a delay that you're hearing.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay.
I had it open on my phone too, just so I can make sure I hear you. I heard Clayton's response as well on my phone, so hopefully I didn't miss too much. All right, we'll go on ahead and we'll do Rebecca's song next. So, Rebecca, why don't you tell us a little bit about your song?
You're muted, Rebecca.
Tell us a little bit about your song.
Can y'all hear me now? Okay, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, the song I wrote is kind of plays off the intro you heard to our show at the start of the show, and it's a continuation of it. It kind of touches a base on friends and family that I know that are currently serving in the military, as well as friends and family that I have lost, either serving the country or for other reasons behind their loss. So I wrote this basically to honor everybody that serves our country currently, as well as those that we have lost, either serving currently now or in past years. Like my father-in-law passed away in October. My grandmother who served passed away in October of 2022. My grandmother who raised me also has military background as well. And she passed away this past October. So it's been a real emotional go with me this year with people I know that have served in the military. So this song is kind of a dedication to them.
Well, thank you for your explanation there. I had to use my phone again to listen to you because for some reason my StreamYard is acting up tonight. But, there's always a workaround. As they taught us in the military, adapt and overcome. There's plenty of streaming sources. I can definitely listen to you through other sources. Gotta love all the electronics of today's world. So with that said, let's go on ahead and play Rebecca's song, You Are Not Forgotten.
For the ones still standing watch. For the ones who never came home. To my family and friends still serving today, standing on the line while danger waits, I thank you for the pain you give, for the sacrifice behind how we live. To the ones who served and rest in peace, your love for this land will never leave. Because of the strength in the lives you gave, we still wake free because you were brave. Every folded flag, every silent stone, every empty chair says you are not alone. You are not forgotten. Your memory carries on through every flag that breaks the dawn, through every freedom we hold on to. You are not forgotten. We honor what you gave. America still stands because of you. To the heroes who never made it home, your sacrifice will always be known. You gave your breath so we could breathe. You gave your life for liberty. To the ones still serving across this land, I hope you know we understand. Your service, your loyalty, your pain are written deep in freedom's name. You are not forgotten. Your memory carries on because of you. Every heartbeat of this nation was bought with dedication. The cost of freedom has a face, and time will never erase. For every mother left praying at night, for every father holding folded light, for every child who learned too soon that heroes leave an empty room. We carry the names that silence keeps through broken hearts and restless sleep. Not as ashes, not as ghosts, but as the ones we honor most. You are not forgotten. Your spirit lights the way. We remember you every day. America still stands because of you. You are not forgotten.
Well done, well done. That kind of gave me a little bit of what I called zombie metal vibes, because I know Within Temptation had a couple of darker sounds like that, and one of them, I swear, the Nazi zombies part of the Call of Duty games utilized part of that song as well. And the message was definitely clear. It was well written. I absolutely love the graphics. You always have such amazing graphics as well. So good job.
Very well done. That whole dark orchestra type thing, that's a really cool vibe. I enjoyed that a lot, and very well written.
And my man Jerry out there in the comments like crazy tonight. So giving Jerry Mathis a shout out there. What's up, dude? And no worries on not being able to come tonight. You're here with us in the comments and in spirit. So we love you, dude.
I really enjoyed that song because it's got definite power ballad sounds to it.
All right.
It got delivered
definitely
really well.
A very strong start. And for those of us who are just joining us, this is Swain Family Records Music Competitive Arena's Metal Monday, and we are doing a special Memorial Day topic today. All the songs are going to be based off of, military service, fallen troops, topics like that tonight. It's a very touchy subject for some, but we're all here. We're going to make sure that they're never forgotten. Just as Rebecca's song said, they're always going to be with us, whether in memory, whether in stories, or just simply in spirit. If you're one of those people that believes in the afterlife and the ethereal and all the spiritual stuff, I don't know all the terms, but whatever you believe in, what you believe in, if you believe in an afterlife, then you believe in an afterlife. But I believe that the spirits of fallen family members are with us. They're watching over us. I'm a firm believer in the afterlife. I won't get into it, from past experiences. That's not what today's about, talking about ghost stories. But with that said, before I lose my train of thought, we'll go on ahead and we'll do Clayton's song next. So, Clayton, why don't you tell the audience about your song and, maybe some inspiration behind it?
Sure. Yeah. So, as I, said, I had a number of family and friends that served in the military. I was very fortunate to none of them were killed in service, but a number of them have passed on since. And so I always take time on Memorial Day to remember them and their service. And the song I did is called "Soldiers and Saints," and it's really about the brotherhood of that you develop in the military, and also about their role as protector. The military is really they stand up for all of us. They stand up for those who can't necessarily defend themselves. And I know there can be a lot of geopolitics in war at times, but the soldiers are there to do a job and to protect and to serve. And so, they don't get afforded they can't really afford to be political. They have a job to do, and they have, their service. So really, this is just about honoring that and the job that they do.
All right. Again, sorry about the delay. Apparently, my phone's got about like an 8-second delay between the live stream and me talking. So thanks for this explanation. We'll go on ahead and get Clayton's song pulled up here.
Boots in the dirt where the signs don't fade. Nights full of ghosts from the choices made. Letters back home, but the ink starts to dim. Praying for mercy, but the grace feels thin. We carry the weight of the names we don't know. Stand in the fire so the innocent don't. Every heartbeat's just another war call. If we don't stand tall, then the weak will fall. We bleed in the silence, we scream in the rain. No crown for the righteous, just scars and pain. But we don't retreat when the darkness descends. We're more than warriors, we're brothers and friends. We're soldiers and saints, walking through the flame, guarding the broken in heaven's name. We fall, we rise, we carry the weight for the ones who can't find. We don't hesitate. Through blood, through grace, we don't walk away. We're fathers, sons, brothers. We're soldiers and saints. Hands to the sky, but they're covered in dust. Faith in the fire and justice we trust. Shield for the weak when the wolves come near. We don't run from the devil, we drag him here. Every lost brother, every hopeless cry echoes forever. The memories don't die. We bury the fear where our courage was born. Out of the ashes, our purpose is sworn. We carry their voices, the lost and afraid. The cost of redemption is already paid. And when hope is gone and the night don't end, we're more than warriors, we're brothers and friends. We're soldiers and saints, walking through the flame, guarding the broken in heaven's name. We fall, we rise, we carry the weight for the ones who can't fight. We don't hesitate. Through blood, through grace, we don't walk away. insane. No halo, no glory, just dust on our skin. War all around us, but the battle's fought within. We're sinners with purpose, redemption in chains, carving out light in a world full of pain. If this is the cross that we're destined to bear, then we'll lift it high like a desperate prayer. Stand up for the victim, rise up for the weak, hold the line. In the silence, be the strength that they see. We're soldiers in chains, walking through the flames, God in the broken, in heaven's name. We fall, we rise, we carry the weight for the ones who can't fight. We don't hesitate. Through blood, through grace, we don't walk away. We're fathers, sons, brothers. We're soldiers and saints. When the dust finally settles and the war finally ends, will they still remember soldiers, saints, and friends?
Wow, definitely another emotional song. It was definitely a nice country rock blend, as I seen in the comments and private chat here. Definitely know how to bring it, dude. Good job.
Clayton's always got the damn lyrics. He always got them.
Yes, he does.
All right, again, I had to pull up my phone here again. Clayton, you're also still muted, by the way.
About that. Yeah, actually, when I wrote that one, I kind of thought it sounded a little bit like a Forge song. I thought I was kind of maybe ripping it off a little bit, or ripping off his style a little bit, but I didn't intend to do that. It just sort of turned out that way. But anyway,
I could definitely see me putting out a song like that, Clayton. I was really digging it. And I was like, this is definitely something I could see myself doing.
Anyway,
I could definitely see me putting out a song.
Clayton, you're not ripping off Forge. Come on, man.
This is definitely something I could see myself doing.
Anyway,
I could definitely see me putting out a song.
There's room for all those country metal guys.
Well, when I was listening to the song.
See, I can hear you now for some reason just fine. I still can't hear Clayton. I still can't hear Forge. So I don't know. StreamYard being weird tonight.
Yeah,
when I first logged in, I couldn't hear anybody.
See, and Kane, you had a earlier shout out to those two awesome ladies, by the way. You know, they had some technical difficulties either. Maybe it's a StreamYard issue. Hopefully that bug gets fixed. You know, maybe it's Skynet trying to infiltrate our amazing group. You know, as I keep saying, no Skynet Terminators allowed in our group. That's why we got those 3 questions, you know, to help prevent all the bots.
Well, while I was listening to Clayton's song, I could actually visualize everything in it.
The next song is yours, Mr. Butcher. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your song?
All right. The one that I put in here is called Presence. It's not the first song I ever put out. It's the first song I ever took serious. I wrote it on my 40th birthday, and I was just being introspective, thinking back about my life. And like I said, I never served, but I think the things I was talking about, most people who were military and have passed that we're remembering probably have felt this way at some point. And a lot of people who have served and who are still with us probably feel that way, being that stronger person, giving up parts of yourself to be there. So think about that. And if you've got people in your life like that, check in on them. Make sure, because they're carrying a lot. They just don't always tell you. It's a little bit of a heavier song. This kind of inspired me to started putting out my own music. I made my album shortly after that, and I've been experimenting ever since, and I love it. But this kind of, I guess, ripped the Band-Aid off. So hope everyone enjoys it. And for all those out there that have served, whether they're here or not, my biggest respects to you.
All right, sounds good. And we're going to listen to his song Presence.
Learned how to stand before I learned how to need. Learned how to be the man. Learned who I was needed to be. Everyone knows I'm solid. Nobody asks what it costs to be the one they can call when they're staring at loss. 40 years of showing up, choosing presence over my pain. I love them, yeah, that is true, but love needs to move blood in the vein. I've stayed because staying's worked, because leaving would break someone, because I was good enough to serve, and surviving's how things get done. I've gotten real good at being needed, really bad at being understood. I fold pieces of myself away just to keep everybody else good. I'm tired of pretending I'm happy surviving just to keep everybody else's life vibing. I'm tired of holding what you chose, being the rock while nobody knows, and then nobody knows. They know I'm strong, they know I'm here. Funny how that only matters when losing me isn't a fear. I see people, I read rooms before they speak. I know who's safe, I know who preys on the weak. Here's the truth I don't say aloud. If I stop being so useful, who's still gonna be proud? Work collapses, peace degrades. The man in the mirror fades. That seems like kindness, looks like grace. Nobody tells you it can turn your heart into a cold and empty place. I don't ask for applause, I don't want praise. I don't need to be admired from a comfortable space. I'm tired of pretending I'm happy surviving just to keep everybody else alive and smiling. I'm done confusing love with staying quiet. I'm done being peace if it means I'm denied it. I wanna be mad without being born. I wanna stop just surviving well and start being sorry. I'm bigger than the life that needs me quiet. More than a pawn, I'm not here to start a riot. I just don't wanna rock. I just don't wanna rock. Eyes open.
You're muted, Sean.
Oh yeah, I realized that when I started talking. I'm like, oh wait, I got to unmute myself on this one. Yeah, I see you, Larry. All right, well done. I guess Rebecca was trying to comment on the previous song, so I'll give her a chance to speak as well. My bad. But that was really well done, and you can definitely feel the emotion behind it for sure, and it was definitely something I could really vibe to as well. And awesome job, man. Awesome job.
Thank you.
I have to say, I connect with that song.
Good.
It
That
felt
was the whole idea.
on a very personal level.
Yeah, that was a very personal song for me. So,
Well, you know, we weren't raised up far from each other. Probably kind of a
That's
local
true.
area thing.
probably.
Well,
All right, Rebecca, I'll give you a chance to respond.
can y'all hear me?
We can hear
So I liked Clayton's song, the previous song. It was really well done. I dig the country vibes as well, as that's one of my things. I could relate to what he was saying. Very emotional. Made me kind of feel what it was like going through that with my family. And then, of course, Renegade Butcher, your song, amazing. Always love rock metal vibes. And again, the emotions say it all and very easy to relate to your song.
Appreciate that. You're muted, Clayton.
Sorry, I was going to say Renegade always has a good handle on how to match the message to the music, and you always feel the song as much as just hearing it, but always keeps the interesting instrumentals and matches the instruments with the emotion. So I really like that.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Definitely sharing the love. And, if you like what you see, feel free to come join us at Swain Family Records Music Competitive Arena. Come join the family. It's 3 short little questions. Again, preventing all the bots from entering. I sometimes see the Twitch bots are out today in droves on the comments. But, I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. But I definitely won't give them any highlights of my day. That's for darn sure. But with that said, again, come join our family. We help each other out as well with, various issues of, giving advice if you're an independent artist. If you want to come here and, share the love or just hang out with us, observe for a little bit, come on in. And if you got a little faith-based side, we have a group for that too with Swain Family Records Kingdom Sound. And, they're definitely looking for more active folks as well. And, go share the gospel, go preach the good word and all that. And, if that's your thing, and, y'all can have fun there. All right. And with that said, we're going to get to my song. And my song, a little forewarning on the lyrics, you're going to see some really weird spellings initially. When I use Suno, I have to spell words very weird to get it to pronounce certain words right. Like when I used the commands that I served with these shipmates with, my kid kept saying Iwo Jima, instead of Iwo Jima. I had to spell that very weird to get it to say that command right. It couldn't say Balad, Iraq either. And, I was actually surprised it said Fallon, Nevada correct. But maybe I got to thank Jimmy Fallon for that. So shout out to Jimmy Fallon out there. That's probably why Suno's saying it right, because of him. But my song is in dedication to, it's very personal to me. This song was in dedication to everybody that I served with in the Navy that I wound up losing. And I run the Facebook group Ewo Mafia. So shout out to my fellow Ewo Mafia out there. And we keep track of sailors that we served with, that are no longer with us. And I help run a annual memorial board for them as well, to make sure that they're never forgotten. And I also add names to it all the time. It's crazy to see, everybody that you've lost in service, between getting out in 2013 to, your current veteran status today. It's a growing list, unfortunately, whether they lost their lives in service, or whether they're an unfortunate 22 a day statistic afterwards, and it's sad either way. It's definitely a statistic that shouldn't exist, but unfortunately it does. And that's why we got to be here to support each other. So if you're a veteran out there, going through a crisis, please, please, please do not neglect your outlets. There are outlets out there, whether you have trusted doctors at the VA, or whether you want to call or text one of the various hotlines we have out there. They're all, starting to go over to allowing text as well. So if you're not comfortable over the phone, feel free to text. There is nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got their own different levels of anxieties out there. Whether you got PTSD, whether you don't like talking to people over the phone and are antisocial or don't trust people, that's perfectly fine. But please, please, please utilize your outlets, whether it's a hotline, whether it's a battle buddy that you're still friends with and hang around all the time, whether you want to go out and have a drink just to, relieve some stress, please do not neglect your outlets, please. And with that said, I'm going to play my song. I called it Fair Winds and Following Seas. And it's a saying we have in the Navy, not only for wishing us protection when we go out to sea, but for when we lose a fallen shipmate. And I've done burial at seas too. When I served on board the USS Iwo Jima, and this is the LHD-7 Iwo Jima, not the LPH-2 Iwo Jima, because I know I've had some veterans comment, well, I served on board that ship in the 80s. I'm like, well, my ship didn't exist in the 80s, but you're probably talking about the previous one. Navy does rename ships after so often. And this song, it definitely broke me last night, so don't be surprised, if it breaks me again tonight. This is a harder metal version of it. When I played the softer version of it, that's the one that broke me, and this song still breaks me too. So yeah, I hope you guys like it. And well, whoops, that's not the song I was trying to pick there. There we go. All right, Fair Winds and Following Seas. Hope you guys like it.
This is for all my fallen shipmates that I have served with on the USS Iwo Jima, in Joint Base Balad, Iraq, or in Afghanistan. Also NAS Fallon, Nevada. This song's for you. You. The pier is quiet now. The watch has changed, but I still hear your laughter on the midnight range. We stood our posts through the storms and the fears. Now I stand alone with the weight of the years. Fair winds and following seas, my friends. You sailed beyond where the horizon ends. I'll keep your names in the log of my soul until the day I'm called to muster roll. And every Memorial Day I stand hand over heart on this grateful land. Your voices echo in the ocean's breeze. Fair winds and following seas. From steel cold decks to the desert heat, We carried each other through every fleet. Some never made it back to shore, and I still feel that loss like the night before. Fair winds and following seas, my friends. You sail beyond where the horizon ends. I'll keep your names in the log of my soul until the day I'm called to muster roll. And every Memorial Day I spent hand over heart on this grateful land. Your voices echo in the ocean's breeze. Fair winds and following seas. No bells will ring loud enough to echo all the love we gave, but I'll stand tall, hand to brow, for every ship made in an early grave. Fair winds and following seas, my friends. Your watch is done, but mine still extends. I'll carry your memory across every tide. Shipmates forever, standing by my side. And every Memorial Day I swear I'll honor you with the silent prayer. Your courage drifts on eternal seas. Fair winds and following seas. Fair winds and following seas. To all my fallen shipmates, your watch is over. Now heaven needs you in those pearly gates.
I definitely feel that one, Storm.
And what a song to close out the show to. Holy moly, that you brought it. I can see where that would be a hard one to even re-listen to. That had to be a hard one to write. So huge respect.
Yeah, it was definitely very hard. When I do these personal songs that I've had personal experience with, it really digs deep down in my soul. It throws open the tear duct, into a full blast, and I had to take a deep breath, running full hosting duties and having to play a song like that. It's definitely a lot to juggle there. So I definitely feel Larry's pain there when he does it. And, Mike and Moses as well, whenever they have to do multiple, duties like that, especially when hearing a sad song like that. And I'm pretty sure you can hear it in my voice as well. These are people that I served with. I still know every single face of every single one of those people that lost. I know their faces, I know their names, and some that I've shared time with on Liberty when we deploy out to sea. I've even ran into a cross at the VA afterwards. That managed to make it to veteran status, and then other stuff were very unfortunate to happen to them. But we're all still a tight-knit community. Us veterans, we look out for each other. We try to do our best to look out for each other. I'm involved in several Facebook groups as well that definitely look out for each other. Anytime a veteran posts that they're having a crisis, boom, so many people are commenting right away trying to help this veteran out. It's an amazing community, whether you've served with each other or not. And for the people that I served with, I definitely wanted to do a song to honor them. And I've had this in plan for a while, and I definitely wanted to have it out by Memorial Day. And I'm really glad that I did. And I know you saw me kind of cut it off a little early because I was trying to edit out some of the extra stuff, that Suna was adding. I didn't have fully time to get it really fully prepped, but I knew exactly where I wanted it to end, so that's where I ended it. So yeah, thanks. Thanks for hearing the song out, and glad to hear the comments on it.
Thank you for sharing that. Just putting that message out there. Like I said, it's a hard thing to write, but you did it for the right reasons. And I think you couldn't have honored everyone else that you lost any better than that.
You can definitely feel the emotion in it, and really.
All right.
Well,
any other
really well
comments before we close this out?
I think it's funny, Storm. I don't think you've heard anything Omega has said. He's tried talking several times and cut him off.
No, you talked over him every time.
I don't think you can hear
good.
him.
We're all having audio issues tonight, so it's not a big deal.
Oh, but simply stated, Storm, one sailor to another. I feel it. Been there.
I had to comment in the YouTube page because I wasn't sure if she would hear me or not, but I could relate to everything and how she felt with losing her shipmates and stuff. Very emotional song. And then it also reminded me of some movies that I saw growing up, and the memorial scenes that they took very seriously. And the first one that popped in me, because the music that you used, the first one that popped in my head was the Top Gun when Maverick lost Goose, who he was really close to. And the whole storyline with that, because he lost his best friend and he had to come back from that. And there was a couple of other military movies I grew up watching. And then again, being around family, just, you can relate to it when you lose somebody, even a shipmate. I remember the stories my grandfather used to tell me. That's why I could relate so well to your song.
All right. I waited a few seconds after Rebecca was done talking just to make sure I didn't accidentally talk over anyone else. Because I know when I switch between my phone and the computer audio, I have to turn my phone audio down so it doesn't overlap when I'm talking on the computer. Because again, there's that little delay there. So I'm trying to make it work with the technology we have, the whole adapt and overcome thing. With that said, we definitely had some amazing songs. Again, thank you to everybody that submitted songs tonight. And thank you to all the listeners who joined with us on a very emotional Memorial Day. And I'm sure those of us that we lost, they're, if they were here and listened to all the tunes we put out today, they would definitely love it. I know a lot of my shipmates that I served with, a few of them were hardcore metal heads. They would have loved to join the Metal Mondays. I would have definitely loved to have recruited every single one of them over and brought them in. And I'm telling you right now, we were a crazy bunch. Sailors, we all get together. It's that chaos, kind of thing going on there. Whether you go to the bars or go out in town and cause some chaos, I mean, it is what it is. But what can I say? We do have the best deployments. That's why they call them cruises. All right. Again, this is Swain Family Records Music Competitive Arena. We are not just hosting shows, we are building a movement. And if you're not moving, how are we moving? Move right out the way. I'm going to give a shout out to the other shows that we have running as well. Or we have Kingdom Sound that does streams on Sundays. We have Unfiltered and Apologetic with Kay and Yetta, who stream from 7p to 8p on Mondays. And they're a very awesome couple of ladies, and I got to help host their show earlier. Had some technical difficulties earlier, but we managed to work through them. And then, of course, Metal Mondays from 9 p.m. to whenever this stream is. So sometimes the stream is gone for a while, like today's did. we have May Days on Tuesdays, and her topic tomorrow is like words you wish you could have said, something along the lines there. So definitely going to be another very emotional day. Mr. Forge here, I'll go on ahead and let you tell about your special as well that you're having this Wednesday.
Well, Wednesday, the Noe boys were putting on a military appreciation event as well. I've been trying to push it for the last couple of weeks, but it's had some holdbacks and everything. So we're going to try again this Wednesday. Currently, we got 4 people locked in to be on the show. We got room for 4 more. If anybody wants to join in, just let me know.
All right, thank you, Mr. Forge. And man, I can tell, like between the both of us, we're definitely feeling it tonight. And let's see, we don't have anything yet on Thursday, so if you joined us on Friday and Saturday, to lighten the mood, we had some pretty intense songs Friday night and Saturday.
Pineapple.
To put it simple, it was definitely some baby making music going on. Oh my gosh, yes, pineapples are being thrown everywhere. That is our little Swain Family Records safe word. So if you see the pineapples, that's the safe word getting called out there.
I think Noah and
Fridays we have our boss himself, OGP Swain, who has his topics as well. Sometimes he does some soul battles, sometimes he does some rap battles. I know Mr. Josh here got a battle coming up. We definitely got some intensities going on. The personal battles are fun. Nothing gets taken literally. It's all some friendly competition. There will be some smack involved, though. It might be some, little ninja knives being thrown in there. Maybe some ninja stars, kind of thrown in there. Maybe a little twist of the knife, with some of the lyrics. I have seen some of these battles. They can get pretty intense.
He sounds like he's bringing the heat, so I'm not going to hold back on this one.
I've seen it.
I was nice and respectful with Jerry, but I'm like, oh, wait, if you're going to talk shit, all right, we got you.
I know in VAI, I'm waiting to do one with him, but I wasn't planning to really get fully involved until the end of my trip next month. Then May throwing the pineapples out right there in the comments. So shout out to May there. And just for May, I'll do her little sound. There you go. And I accidentally clicked it twice, but there you go, May. Double dose of your favorite jingle there. And
oh yeah, I think you're right. Moses and Noah might be doing a Thursday pop-up, and it sounds like, I don't know for sure yet. We're talking about it, but the following Thursday, I might be hosting something. We'll see.
Yeah, I joked about calling it Thirsty Thursday, and that could be our pineapple day.
Mine won't be Thursday.
If I'm remembering correctly, it's like 4 different.
Actually, me and Moses were talking about it behind the scenes, and he's thinking about calling a show Thirsty Thursday.
Could be fun.
Oh, I definitely will be there Thursday for sure. I had to turn my phone up because I couldn't hear Larry for some reason that time. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be there Thursday. Where the pineapples are thrown, hey, I'm willing to go there and bring some of my own. I posted a rather fun picture of Thaldrak holding a giant pineapple. He's got the ultimate pineapple for us. And Saturdays,
it's not a pineapple measuring competition, Storm. All right.
Look, it's not the size of the pineapple that matters. All right, we could get into a whole bunch of other things, but we are talking about pineapples, not eggplants. All right. So,
and I just said I'm along for the ride for throwing the pineapples. So, it is what it is.
If I remember correctly,
that's all Rebecca talking.
Actually, I do remember correctly. Last Sunday, I submitted a song. You got to listen to it, Storm, but they're thinking about actually letting me play it on Thursday.
I had to give myself a couple of seconds just to be sure. All right, and
she's still not hearing me.
No, she's not hearing you, but we all caught that, so she'll hear it on the replay.
Yeah, I'll hear it on the replay. I'll have to replay these last couple of minutes. I'm sorry, Omega. Go on ahead and speak up. I'll give you your spotlight here.
Well, if you remember correctly, I sent you over that song the other day, and Moses and Noah are talking about allowing it for Thursday because they just felt it was a little bit too controversial for Sunday. So I'll actually get a little airtime for that.
Cool. Well, congrats, Omega, and we'll definitely be there to listen to it for sure. With that said, again, thank you for joining us. Shout out to May, who's still out there commenting with us. And we'll go on and close this out. And, definitely don't neglect your friends out there, especially if they have served. Sometimes you never know what somebody may be going through. They might have a bad day, and sometimes just something as simple as a text, can really brighten up somebody's day. Send them a little message, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's a chat, or even a little phone call. Go, hey brother or hey sister, hey, what's up? I'm checking on you. You want to go out for a drink, or hey, did you watch the game last night? That was some craziness. Find a little something. Sometimes a little message, makes a person's day. If I see somebody when I'm out and about, looking like they've had a bad day, I caught somebody, brief little story when I briefly had a little stint at OU. I caught somebody crying on the steps of one of the buildings one day, and I stopped and I sat there and I had a good 30-minute chat with her. I didn't have any classes anytime soon, and she was having a real bad time. She had just lost a family member, but she was already taking a lot of time off from her schooling, and she was trying to to make it to class, still trying to get there. And I had a little talk with her. I knew what that was like. I went through a lot in 2019 when I attended University of Incarnate Word in San Antonio. I went through 3 losses in the very first 3 months of that year. My schooling fell behind. I had personal experience with it. And I told her about my experiences. And, I told her definitely don't neglect the schools counselors, because most of the major colleges out there definitely have counselors as well. And definitely don't neglect the chaplains either, whether you're religious or not. Sometimes the chaplains are a huge help. I know when I was still a first responder, I wasn't religious, but I still talk to the chaplains. That's what they're there for. They're there to help be an outlet. They're there to speak with, and, whether they preach to you or not, that's their thing. But sometimes having that outlet to vent helps. So if you're out there and you're struggling, again, please do not neglect your outlets, whether it's friends and a hotline, a counselor, a doctor, it doesn't matter. Please do not neglect your outlets. With that said, I hope you all take care, and hopefully things improve if you're having a bad day. I hope you're not, but if you are, I hope things improve and gets better for you. And as I usually like to say, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay metal.
I didn't come looking for a label. I came looking for a room with real people in it. Found one. Pulled off the highway, didn't know what I'd find. Just a working man with a song and time to grind. OGP opened the door, said bring what you got. This ain't a charity case, it's a proven ground slide. No algorithm picking who deserves the stage, just artists in a room earning page by page. Storm Daco's Metal Monday like a brick to the jaw. Larry and Jimmy know we bring in Wednesday outlaw. Make keeps Tuesday clean, but the vote DJs live, Noah Gray on Saturday, Anonymous alive. Soul and R&B when Friday hits 9, and before that, Thursday battle where we sharpen the line. One family, many sounds, one arena floor. Independent artists at a wide open door. We compete, we bleed, we sharpen every edge. This ain't a label, it's a living, breathing pledge. You bring your best and the community brings theirs, and somewhere in that friction something rare appears. Real music, real people, real stakes on the line. One family, many sounds, one legacy in time. Yeah. Clayton stepped in early when the vision was thin. Bobby Reborn came through ready to begin. Rebecca in the bracket giving everything she's got. Melissa brought a movement, gave it everything she brought. Michael, Blake, Rosita, Beth, so many more. Every name in that room is drawing breath for something that most platforms never built. A place where showing up don't come with guilt. I've been independent long enough to know the difference between a platform and a room that gives a damn. This is the room. OGP built it, so nobody has to eat alone. That's the whole thing. That's all of it. That's Storm dock swings, may keep Tuesday clean, but the energy stings. Larry and Jimmy know it Wednesday, outlaw kings. Noah Gray on Saturday, the spotlight sings. So night Friday, 9 o'clock the rhythm ignites. Thursday battle, 7 o'clock fights. Clayton early, Bobby Reborn in the lane. Rebecca stepping in, Melissa stake and claim. Michael was he the best standing tall. Jerry and Ford bringing outlaw to the hall. Every day my mess is holding in a lane. Every week somebody new comes in and stakes a claim. OGP built the house and opened every door. Renegade walked in and started keeping score. No middleman, no algorithm, no apologies. Swain family records, that's the only eulogy. The door's open, the room's full. The work ain't done. Get ready, Jerry. The butcher's coming Thursday.